boy Osas, and in today's episode we are going to get started with sending video messages into a channel. As you've seen so far, we have handled the photo messages functionality, and it's time for us to use that to handle the video messaging functionality. The first step that we need to do is to jump right into Xcode, and I am going to go into our message service. So we need to expand our message service to support the video uploads. So let's look for our services folder. I'm going to close some of this folder, the service folder, our message service. And right here in our message service, as you can see, for photo messages, we're uploading thumbnail with thumbnail URL, thumbnail width, and thumbnail height. Now, the only other thing we need to add is just the message video URL. So I'm just going to say message dict, and I'm going to add in for a key called video URL. So it looks like we don't have that yet. We are going to go ahead that, or do we? Looks like we do actually. So for video URL, I am going to say if the params.video URL exists, right? If not, it's nil. So we need to go pass this in. Let's see. Remember, as no video URL, maybe we do not have a video URL key yet, and let us go add that to our message item. So I'm back inside of the message item folder. I just jumped into it by clicking on this thumbnail height property. So I'm going to create a video URL static property right here. I'm going to say video URL. It's going to be stored as video. Let's see. What are we using for thumbnail URLs? Is that inside of our channel? So I'm just going to say video URL. Okay. And I'm actually, while we're here, I'm going to add our video URL property to our message item. So let's scroll all the way to the top and let us create a video URL property as well. And this is going to be of type string, and it's going to be optional because not every message is a video message. So let's scroll all the way down and let us add this to our key value parent right here in our initializer. So I'm going to say self.video URL, right, is inside of the dictionary for this specific key, right? We're accessing the value using the video URL key, video URL, okay? And we know it's going to be of type string. We're going to make it optional because it's optional. And we're going to default it to nil if we don't find any video URL inside of this dictionary right here. So with that done, let us jump into our chat room view model and actually start writing out the function that's going to be responsible for uploading video messages. But it looks like we have an error. Oh, yeah, we did not complete this. Well, it should not be showing an error anymore. Yep, it is not working. So send media message inside of our message service is now ready to handle video messages as well. So I'm also going to add a simple documentation here. I'm going to say photo messages and video messages. Okay, let's now jump into our chat room view model. So inside of our chat room view model, we have this method that is responsible for sending photo message. And as you can see, we have this other method that is responsible for sending all kinds of media messages. So right here, we need another method that is going to handle the video message for us. And I'm just going to come down here and create a method called send video message. And I think that's a pretty good name. And send video message is going to take in a text because the video message could potentially have a text along with it. And it's also going to take in the attachments, just like we did with the photo message. And it's going to be of type media attachments. Okay, let me scroll the way up here, create a little bit of space. And what do we need to send video message to do? Well, before we actually start writing the logic for send video message, let us call this function inside of our send multiple media messages method so we don't forget. So I'm going to say send video message is going to ask for text. Let's just pass in that text and let us pass in that attachments. Okay, so now let's scroll all the way down here. For our send video message method, what do we want to do? Well, as we explained in prior episode, a video contains two processes, right? We have the thumbnail that we're going to be displaying, and we have the video URL file that we have to upload. And thankfully, we have created this Firebase helper method that's going to be responsible for uploading files to our Firebase bucket. So this upload file method. Now it's time for us to use it. So here's how we're going to do it. First, we're going to upload our video storage, right? Our video to our backend storage, and then we're going to upload our video thumbnail and then save it to our database. So the first step is just like we did with our upload image to storage. Honestly, I'm just going to copy it, paste it here, and do the same thing, except this time around, we're going to be uploading file. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to take this out, just upload file, and upload file is going to ask for, ooh, I have a bunch of errors. Okay, let's see. This is going to be upload video file to storage, okay? And it's going to use our Firebase helper method, and the Firebase helper method takes in a file, upload file. Let me see the signature for that. It's going to ask for a for type. So let's go right ahead and actually just do that. I'm just going to remove all of this and just say upload file for, we're uploading a video message, and the URL is going to be our attachment URL. So all we're going to say is attachment .file URL, because remember, each media attachment has a computed property called file URL. But we need to unwrap it because I'm pretty sure this file URL is optional, and we can command click into it. And as you can see right here, the file URL for a media attachment is actually optional because not every media attachment has a file URL. For example, photos don't have file URL. So we're going to go back and let us go right ahead and fix this really quickly. So let us unwrap this file URL, and I'm just going to say what's a good name for this? Let's just say video URL to upload is going to be equals to our attachment file URL. Else, if there is no video URL to be uploaded, we need to return out of the scope because we don't even have anything to upload. Okay, so now we're going to pass this video URL to upload into our file URL parameter. Now, as for our completion and everything else, we are going to go right ahead and do what we did inside of the upload image. I'm just going to copy all of that because it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, and I'm just going to paste that right here. Boom. I think that looks pretty good to save us some time. And this is going to be results type of URL or error. So right here, we have this upload video file to storage method. And now what it's returning for us is not actually it's not returning an image URL. It is actually returning a video URL, right? And this is the video URL completion. And when it fails, I'll say failed to upload, let's see, video URL to storage. Okay. And honestly, yeah. Actually, I'm going to make this function a little bit more generic, guys. And the reason is because I know we're going to be using it for our audio uploads as well. So I'm going to change this to upload file to storage, not just upload, video to storage. And let's see, I'm going to say, instead of, I'm going to say URL, I'm going to say file to upload. Okay. And this is going to be file to upload. And what else do I want to do? I want to ask for the media type that we're about to upload. So I'm going to say upload file URL for, it's going to be the upload type, and I'm going to say for, let's see, upload type, which is of type upload type. And I can validate that by jumping into our Firebase helper method. We have this upload type. Okay, so it's namespaced on the Firebase helper method. So on the Firebase helper struct, I mean. So I'm going to say Firebase helper dot upload type. Okay, and let us start, breaking these into new lines, because as you can see, the parameters for this specific function is getting super long. So let's break these things into new lines. So we upload file to storage for the upload type and the attachment. So what we're doing inside of the method is we're grabbing, or we're unwrapping the file that we want to upload. We're passing it inside of our upload file method, but right here, instead of for message, it's going to be for upload type. Okay, so that way we can reuse this method for both our voice message uploads and for our video message uploads. And I'm going to say upload file progress in the print statement here. And I'm going to say fail to upload file to storage. Okay, so where am I going to use this upload file to storage method now inside of our chat room view model? Well, we're going to go right ahead and use it inside of the send video message method. So right for this send video message method, we're going to say upload file to storage. It's going to ask for the type, and we know we're uploading a video message, and the attachments is the attachments we already passed in, and as a result, it's going to return us I'm going to say a video URL instance. So let's see, what are we doing completely different here? Oh, so this is not image URL, this is now file URL. That's what I'm going to call that. Let's see, and we're going to have everything be called file URL instead of video URL. I think that looks better. Now let's go back up here inside of our send video message method. So now we have our video URL. What do we want to do with our video URL? I mean, once we get this method successfully, once we have the video URL successfully, it's time for us to now upload our thumbnail. So this uploads the video file to the storage bucket, while this next process is going to upload the video thumbnail. Right? So we're going to we're uploading our video file. Now we're going to upload our thumbnail. And for us to upload our thumbnail, we would just use this method that we already have down here. So we have a method that's going to be responsible for uploading image to storage. Remember, we use that for our photo messages. So let's go right ahead and do that. We're going to say self.upload message to storage. It's going to ask for attachments. And let's just go right ahead and pass in that attachment. And for completion, it's going to return us our image URL. So now we basically have both the video URL and the image URL for a specific video message, which is awesome. And we're going to go right ahead and save that to our database. And how are we going to do that? Well, pretty simply. Here is what we're going to do, right? We're going to call into our message service class. We're going to call the send media messages method, right? It's going to ask for a channel. So we're going to pass in the channel. But before we do that, let us unwrap things here, because we are using capture list to break these references. And we're going to say let self is equals to self. It's optional, else we're going to return. Okay, let us pass in our channel here, because our channel exists on the chat room view model. Right, so we're going to say self the channel. I'm going to remove this optional self here because we no longer need that for this upload image to storage method. So now that we have our channel, the next thing that I want us to actually do, I'm going to move this godlets down here actually. The next thing that I want us to actually do is to pass in the parameters that we need to upload a specific, I have a bunch of errors here. You know what, I'm going to leave this as optional. It's just this one that I want to unwrap. Okay, let's go right ahead and pass our upload parameters to our send media message method. And here's what we're going to do, okay? So the first bit of the equation, we have our, actually, you know what? We don't even need to new line that. Let's just go right ahead and create this upload params. So we have this upload parameter, And remember, it's from a couple of episodes ago. It's this message upload parameter. And I'm going to initialize everything in here, and we're going to remove what we don't need. So the first thing that we ask for is our channel. So I'm going to say self.channel. And let me just indent everything so we could see what we're dealing with. Attachments, thumbnail, video URL, sender, what else? Audio URL. We're not going to need the audio URL or the audio duration because those two are for voice messages. Okay, so now let's go right ahead and fill in the value for each one of these parameters. For the text, it's the text that we're going to be getting from the send message method. For the type, it's going to be of type video message. For the attachment, it's this attachment that we're injecting in here. And for the thumbnail URL, guess what? We have this we have this image URL. So the image URL is actually the thumbnail URL in this instance, and we could call it thumbnail URL just for readability's sake. So that's our thumbnail URL. For our video URL, guess what? We have a video URL right here. We're going to pass that in here. And for our sender, it's going to be the current user that is inside of our view model. So I'm going to unwrap that as well. I'm going to say let current user is equals to the current user in the chat room view model. You can command and click into that just to see what I mean. Let's see, where is our current user? We have a current user property somewhere here, right here. We have a current, no, that's just a channel. Don't we have a current user property? I could have sworn we do. Yeah, we have right here, the current user property right here. Okay, so our view model is starting to get beefy. In the next coming episodes, we're going to start splitting it a little bit just for better readability, and we're going to organize it better. But let us keep going with this video message upload process. So now that we have everything set up here, let us pass this upload parameters to our message service, and let us hit this completion handler, and let us create a weak reference using capture list, weak self, and now the other thing I would like for us to do, just like with the photo messages, I would like for us to scroll to the bottom when we are actually done uploading a video message. But let's see why this is showing us error. I'm going to command and build our project. Okay, it's saying cannot convert URL to type. Okay, that's awesome. So this thumbnail URL is actually returning an actual URL object to us. As you can see, it's an actual URL. So what we need is the absolute string, which is the string version of that URL. And same thing for the video URL, absolute string, absolute string. So now let us run our project. But before we do that, let me explain what is going on really quickly. Okay, so we have our message service, which we have delegated with the responsibility of uploading video messages for us. We have the send media message method inside of our message service struct, right? And this send media message method is getting all of the data that it needs to upload to our backend using this message upload parameter, which is just a struct that we have down here, right? And this struct has all the information that we need for us to be able to send video messages, photo messages, and voice messages. And so what that means is it makes this send media message method super reusable because we're just going to reuse it to send both voice messages, video messages, and voice messages and be able to save it to our database. So the first thing we need in order for us to be able to upload a video message is we need to first upload the file, and we're using the Firebase helper method that we created a while ago to upload those files to our backend. Now, when we're done uploading those files, as you can see right here, right, with this method that says upload file to storage, when we're done uploading that method, we then upload the thumbnail of the video, right? When we upload the thumbnail of the video, then we save all of that information to our database. So this send media message is essentially saving it to the database. So this saves the metadatas and URLs to the database. And here's what I mean, right? Let us go to our Firebase console. In our Firebase console, in the last episode, we uploaded a bunch of photo messages. And as you can see, for example, this is the channel messages node. And for individual message, you can see we have this thumbnail URL, and we are saving all of this into this database path after uploading it to our storage bucket, which if you go to the storage bucket, as you can see, we have photo messages path, and each one of these photo messages is the ones that we have uploaded using this method called, let's see, where is that method? Using this method called upload image to Firebase storage that is inside of our Firebase helper method, Firebase helper struct. Hopefully that is a good explanation. Please, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. Now let's go right ahead and validate all this piece of code that we just wrote by running our project on a simulator, and let us try to actually upload a video message and see what happens. Okay, let us go to our channels tab. Let's go into fantasy football, for example, and let us try to upload a bunch of video messages. So let us start with this small one that is about 9 seconds long. Let us add a text, a first video message, right? Let us hit that send button and see what happens. Okay, as you can see, we're getting the upload file progress right up here. It is done uploading the file, and it's done uploading the image. Let us see. Look at that. We have the text for the specific message. We have our actual video message. When we click on it, nothing happens, but we're actually going to handle that right away. Let us send a bunch of videos, right? Let us send this one, and let us send that one, and let us send this one as well. And let us send an image along with that, and let's see what happens. Let us go right ahead and hit that send button. Our text input area clears as expected. We have a photo message coming first, right? Let's see what is going on. As you can see, we're having this upload file progress, and it's just looping through each one of our media attachments. We have a second video message. We have our third video message. And as you can see, they're dynamically sized. Look at how beautiful that is, right? And then we have what it looks like our fourth video message, and I think that's all of our messages. So, of course, we're not attaching a progress indicator to any of these, but you can do that on your own. They're pretty simple. The next thing I want us to do pretty quickly before we wrap up this episode is, so when we click on each one of these individual cells, as they're called in UIKit, or items in SwiftUI, when we click on each one of these items, I would like for us to present the media player view that we're using. So remember we have this media player view we built in a couple of episodes ago, right? Where when you click on it, we play the actual video that you've selected. Well, why don't we do the same thing for each one of these video messages? When we click this play button, let us present a actual media player view. And the way we're going to do that pretty quickly is we are going to jump into our message list controller. So the message list controller is right here for me in my tab. It's inside of our views folder, inside of our chats folder. So the message list controller has something called, UI table view delegates and data source. And one of the delegates is the select item. So we can come down here, right inside of our, UI table view delegates and data source extensions. We can extend and subscribe to the select item and select row. For table views, for collection views, it's called select items. And what happens is when you select each one of these individual elements, it's actually going to fire. And we can print that really quickly. We can validate that really quickly just to prove to you that I am not lying. And it also comes with an index path. And the index path is essentially, the position of the specific item that you are selecting. So let us print this. Let us run our project. Let us filter for this specific selection. And so if you're not familiar with UIKit, we have this concept of table view delegates and data source. And this provides us with a bunch of method that allows us to, interact with each one of these elements in our table view. So for example, let's say we select this item, right? Look at that. It says select item at row 9, and that's the index path.row. And as you can see, each one of them have different indexes. So it's awesome. We can really just use that to present our actual media player. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right ahead, and first and foremost, in an ideal world, what I would like for us to do is when we select an actual item, it makes sense for us to dismiss the keyboard. So I'm going to say UI application.dismiss keyboard, right? Because right now we're not doing that. Let's say we have our keyboard open. I'm going to Command and K. When I click on each one of this item, it doesn't dismiss it. When I scroll it, of course, it dismisses it. But let us dismiss the keyboard. When we're done dismissing the keyboard, let us use our view model to actually play the media message, to play the video message. And if we go to our chat room view model, we have a function called play media. And I'm just going to find it, play media, and actually it's called show media player, right? And this function just asks for a URL. That's all it asks for, and it's just going to play the video for you. So we're going to use this method to do that. Let's go back to our message list controller, and let us get access to the actual message that we are selecting. So I'm going to say let message, the actual message item, is equals to what? So I'm going to say view model. I'm going to use subscripts, right? I'm going to say message items, the messages inside of our view model. I'm going to say index path row, that is the specific message, and then I'm going to say, I'm just going to switch on the message item type. And in this case, for now, all I care about is the video type. So I'm going to say if it's of type video, what do I want to do? Well, I would like to do something like view model dot show media player, right? And it's going to ask for a URL. So we're going to grab that URL really quickly. But before we do that, let us create a break statement for defaults. I'm going to say the default is break because we don't care if a user selects for example, a photo message for now. Of course, we're going to do that in an upcoming episode. We also don't care if they select an actual text components. We're just listening for the video messages for now. So now we need to get this file URL. Where do we get this file URL from? Remember, each message item actually has a video URL property. And if we scroll all the way to the top, we just did that at the beginning of the episode. The video URL property, we're going to use that. So let's go back to our message list controller and let us create an actual file URL. I'm just going to say video URL, let video URL is of type is equals to a actual URL, and URL have the string constructor, right? And I'm going to say, so the first thing I actually want to do is I'm going to indent this. I'm going to create the actual video URL string because that is the string. I'm going to say video URL string is of type message item.video URL, which is optional, right? When I unwrap that, I'm going to pass in that video URL string into my video URL right here, and I need to make this a let. And let us go down here and create an else statement and return out of the scope if for whatever reason we were unable to get the video URL. And so let us indent this properly. And now I'm going to take this video URL and pass it into my show media method. That's pretty much all we need to do. And if you're doubting it, let's go right ahead and run our project and you'll see for yourself. So let's see. Let's wait for the simulator to boot up. We are going to go to a channels tab. Let us go to fantasy football channel and let us go and click on one of these video messages that we have uploaded. So for example, let's say I click on that. Let's see what happens. Look at that. And I can go ahead and dismiss it. I can go ahead and play this one. Look at that. Our video messages is playing. Pretty awesome, right? Let's go ahead and cancel that. Let's say, for example, we click on the photo message. As you can see, nothing happens because, again, we are switching on the message type and we're only listening if it's of type video. Anything else, we don't even bother. We just break out of that condition. So this is pretty awesome. And it has a fast forward, it has a rewind, all of the cool stuff. And in that way, we are reusing that media player view logic that we used or we created about a dozen episodes ago. So I think that's pretty much all we need or all we have for today's episode. In the next coming episode, we are actually going to handle our, voice messages, and we're going to upload voice message, excuse me, and we are also going to clean up a couple of our logics. So for example, if we jump into our chat room view model, let's say our chat room view model, for example, and let's see, we have this method that is actually looping through each of our media attachment preview, and we need to make this method better as far as the text is concerned. So for example, where is it? Where's our media attachment preview, multiple media attachment preview? Scroll all the way up here. So we have this method called send multiple media messages. Right now, if we actually had a bunch of text to this, it's just going to send all those texts for each one of these individual, items. And remember, we're looping through this, and we don't really want that. We only want to send a text for each individual, for one individual media attachment. So here's what I mean. Right now, if we send, let's say, two photo messages, and we had a text to it, we say, hey dude, hit that send button, clears our text input area. Both photo messages are going to have a dude, as you can see. Obviously, that's a bug that we need to fix. So we're going to handle things like that in the next coming episode, and we're also going to build out the voice message upload functionality. And as you can see, we have made a substantial amount of progress in our project so far. There's still a couple of more stuff for us to do, but I hope you guys are learning. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.